Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Treasure Coast Connector, connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. Today's episode is proudly being sponsored by Advanced Vascular Solutions. Dr. Hadi Shalhoub is the founder, and he is a board-certified vascular and general surgeon. He's been in the Sebastian area for over 20 years. Now, Advanced Vascular Solutions, they treat and diagnose and treat a variety of vascular ailments. And I need to read this because the list is long. Wound care, leg pain, peripheral arterial disease, radiofrequency ablation, spider veins, ultrasounds, venous seal, and abdominal aortic aneurysm repair. Advanced Vascular Solutions is located at 13110 US 1 on the east side of the street, just south of Sebastian River Medical Center, the hospital. They're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for patient-centered care by an experienced team of vascular and wound experts. Give them a call at 772-277-2964, and their website is avsmedicalgroup.com. So if you love bird watching, strolling through tropical, luscious, greenery, and you love seeing the sky turn glorious colors, either in the first of the day, the sunrise, or end of the day at sunset, there's a wonderful place in Vero Beach that is located right off of the Jungle Trail, and that is the Pelican Island National Wildlife Refuge. Now, the Pelican Island Audubon Society, this is a separate organization. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. They were created to preserve and protect the animals, plants, and water through education and public awareness for this park and other natural areas throughout the county. And joining me in the studio today is Donna Halleran, and she is the executive director, and she has a lot to share about this amazing nonprofit. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ellen. Thank you for having me.
And while you're talking, I'm just going to that was a lot to get through between what Dr. Shalhoub does and your nonprofit that we're going to talk about. But very quickly, my husband is a big fan, as am I, of Dr. Shalhoub, because that is one of the doctors. And my husband has had several procedures done by him. And from a personal perspective, his just temperament and how he treats people, his bedside manner, and he just explains everything. He makes you feel so comfortable, and we really like him. And he's on your board.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He is on our board, and he treats his plants the same way. Aww. He comes on Sundays, and he does transplants of oak trees, live oak trees, and that seems to be his therapeutic time off for himself. He comes every Sunday morning doing transplants.
Just wants to dig in the dirt.
Yes.
Good for him. Okay, so now the Pelican Island Audubon Society, you do a lot of good work in the area, and a lot of people are not even aware of the society. So this is your chance to explain why it was created.
The Pelican Island Audubon Society, in 1964 is when it was established. It came out of the Conservation Society, the refuge, and they split off to become the conservationists of Indian River County.
Okay.
And since that time, of course, they've grown in what they do. Conservation, people think Audubon means birds. However, it means much more than just birds, because if we don't have the birds, we don't have the environment.
Absolutely. And I truly thought that Audubon, and I think that's what most people think, just birds. Okay, right. But it's a lot more than that.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And so what made you want to become the director?
So I was actually on the Pelican Island Audubon board for 7 years prior. And I came to the board actually by accident. I met Dr. Baker at a fair in Sebastian, and I was telling him I was trying to get to be a volunteer at the refuge. And he asked, why was I interested in that? I said, because I live in Sebastian. And he said, why don't you give us a chance and come on down to Pelican Island Audubon?
Okay.
And so I did, fell in love with it, fell in love with the people there and their mission. And I've been there ever since.
Yes.
Became their executive director after leaving their board. They had done a worldwide search looking for an executive director. And I had been retired for 7 years, and they asked me if I would accept the position as the leader. So I have done so. I've been there since July.
Wow. And then they called you out of retirement. That happens so often. So many people, they think, oh, retirement's going to be wonderful. They're so happy for 6 months. And then they look around and they go, well, now what? You know? And so, and that's a good thing. And we're going to touch on that in the second half about different ways that people can help, because I think volunteering is another thing that you really love for people to get involved in. So now I was going to ask you the third question. Where is Pelican Island located?
Oh.
Because, and then in the green room, you know, we went over a clarification. And I'm so happy that you did that, because for many years, I thought of the Pelican Island Wildlife Refuge and the Pelican Island Audubon Society. I thought that you were the management of it.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And
yes.
if I think that, a lot of other people do. So what would you like to share to help with, you know, ending that myth?
Okay. So Pelican Island Refuge is it's the very first national refuge. And Pelican Island Audubon is one of 500 chapters in Florida of the Audubon Society. Wow. We do have a national Audubon as well, but we are just a local chapter. And we work hand in hand with the refuge. And a lot of our volunteers do both. Their volunteers come to us and we go to them. We were named after the refuge. And so we've done a lot of things with them. And people will come to us and say, we'd love to make a donation to the refuge. You know, how do we do that? And we say, well, you're asking us. We're Pelican Island Audubon. And we then have to talk about where we're located.
Right.
Let them know that we're actually on the opposite side of Indian River County.
But it's not that far.
No,
not at all.
No.
You know, I think it's funny that when I live in Vero, and if I say I want to go to a restaurant in Sebastian, people are like, oh, you're going to drive all the way up there. Like, it's not that far.
It really isn't.
Yeah. So, okay. So now on your website, there's a plethora of information. And so you talk about nature walks and you talk about other projects. So what are these? Where do these walks happen? And we want all the details.
Okay. So we do loads of things. I will start with so we do nature walks on the conservation land. So we're 1 acre sitting in the middle of 430 acres of county conservation land on Oslo Road.
Just east of US 1.
Just east of US 1, down on the right-hand side is where we're located. And so Sunday mornings, we do nature walks there on the north and south side of the Orchid Trails. And then days during the week, usually 35 times a year approximately, we do field trips all over the county and outside the county.
Are these adult field trips,
they
not
are
just
adult,
for kids?
Yes, these are adult field trips. Yes,
good.
and anybody can sign up. All of our field trips are free. They always have been.
Wow, nice.
And we usually meet up at different locations if people want to, drive together to lessen that footprint. And the trips can be anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, depending on where the trip's going to be. And we have different leaders. Some of our leaders are really good birders, so they know lots about birds. And then you may have somebody like myself who knows some things about birds, but I love to take pictures. So usually I make sure that that's noted, that this may have a little bit more to do with photography than actually spending a lot of time hiking along.
Okay.
So those are the different kinds of trips as far as that's concerned. Do you want me to go into the other programs?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's why we're here.
All right.
We have a few minutes before the first half is over, so we're good.
So in 2015 was actually when the Audubon House was built. That was when we finally had a home. And that same year, we also began our Audubon Advocate program, which is a program for 5th grade students underserved children that live in the South County part of Indian River County.
Okay.
They come from 4 Title I schools, which mean they get free or reduced lunch, 80% of the students. And we had realized that there's students that do not get the same opportunities as other students from other schools to be able to learn about science and be out in nature. They don't necessarily have trails in their area.
Okay.
We don't look for A students, grade A students. We look for students that have an interest in science and an interest in nature. And they come for 14 weeks. They come for 2.5 hours a week. And they learn everything from journaling to sketching to observation, looking in a mosquito hole to find larvae. They learn how to kayak. We have cameras. They learn about the snakes in the area and other animals and bugs.
Fun.
And
Yeah.
yes.
I know about them.
Yes. And we actually teach them what the right way to handle things and whatnot. And they also get to learn about the native plants because without native plants, we wouldn't have birds.
Exactly.
So it's a big cycle, big circle that we have. Some of the other programs is we have a Trees for Life, Plants for Birds program, where we have a nursery right on our facility, and we sell native plants there. Several of them are ones that we grow, and then we also give away 4 different types of Florida native trees.
Oh, wow.
And we are trying to give away 100,000 trees in 10 years, and we're on a 3rd year, and we're about 17,000 trees that are planted around the county.
That's amazing.
So
Ricky Ray is doing a good job of tree distribution.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's an amazing birder.
Yes,
right.
he is.
So
amazing birder and volunteer.
Yes.
Yes. Well, he's probably one of our. Well, I shouldn't say probably. He is
a very hardworking
volunteer, and he is my right hand in so many ways, because if I don't have anybody to help with kayaking with the children, he always steps up. If I need somebody that needs to move soil or take some plants to a school, he will step up and do it. So he's a great person to have aboard.
Well, very good. So now for people that are listening on iHeartRadio and the podcast, how do they get a hold of you, or I should not you personally, but the organization?
So we're located at 195 9th Street Southwest, which is also called Oslo Road, or we have our website, which is www.pelicanislandaudubon.org.
Okay.
And that's usually the best way. But we also love people to just come down and see the place, and generally they will want to volunteer once they've been there.
Well, that is wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, but Donna Halleran of Pelican Island Audubon Society, she has a lot more to say, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
ITEX, or International Trade Exchange, is the largest barter company in the world, with over 25,000 members offering goods and services. We're a marketing company that brings you new business in the way of trade, with over 200 local members enjoying the benefits of ITEX, like lawyers, doctors, plumbers, media, printing, and more.
Hi, this is Liz Bowler. Contact me and find out why barter through ITEX has been smarter for over 30 years. 772-532-1881. Visit itex.com.
Create your restful retreat and save 50% now on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington Home during our winter sale and President's Day event now through February 28th at Sunshine Furniture. Sophisticated looks with a mix of contemporary, coastal, and Caribbean styles, Tommy Bahama Home offers everything you need for your personal paradise. At Sunshine Furniture, we have the largest selection of in-stock coastal and casual sofas, love seats, chairs, slipcover sofas, bedroom, dining, and occasional furniture from Four Seasons, Capri, Best, to Barcalouts lounger, hooker, universal, and more. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have anything you need for your patio or lanai, including a gallery of Lloyd Flanders, Berlin Garden, Woodard, Hollywood, Brown Jordan, Windward, and Kingsley Bate. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been speaking with Donna Halleran, the Executive Director for Pelican Island Audubon Society. And we were talking about all these amazing programs for adults and children alike. But now we're going to talk about the annual Saving Paradise Gala. So we're taping this on February 6th. Okay, this is going to be on the radio in a couple of weeks. But March 6th is when you're having this annual event. So what is this all about?
Ooh. So on March the 6th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., it's a Monday evening. We're going to be at Grand Harbor for our first annual gala.
Oh.
And we're very, very excited about it. It's our first opportunity to really look at raising money for our programs and support staff and the building and everything else. We have worked really, really hard at building up this wonderful programs, and we're at capacity at this time. And we are trying to save paradise. We know what we value, and we want to learn what you value.
Well, very nice. Yeah. And a lot of people here, when they move to our area, they appreciate the quaint small town feeling that Indian River County in general, Vero Beach and Sebastian, and then of course, Winter Beach and in between. We just love being in the outdoors. And I think naturally people want to help in any way. We have, saving the turtles. We have all sorts of things, beach cleanups. So now we're learning about Pelican Island Audubon Society. So now what other events do you do, and then what are the ways that people or local businesses can help you?
Okay. First, I want to just tell you that in 1988, Pelican Island Audubon was the first to do a beach cleanup, and we were awarded by the Department of Interior. And ever since then, there have been beach cleanups around the world, which is a very exciting thing to happen. So conservation is always in our mind, raising funds, bonds to buy conservation land. We really love Indian River County, from the cattle fields to all the conservation land, to the Indian River Lagoon, to the ocean. We're really trying to protect that and keep it as pristine as we can, and actually bring it back, restore it back to the way it should be.
Oh, absolutely.
And that certainly is something that we are behind the scenes doing so much about. We're not really good at patting ourselves on the back and telling people, but this is an opportunity for me to come forward and be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm expressing that.
Oh, sure. And there are a lot of stats on your website on all the different things that you have accomplished. And so now somebody that is listening, and we touched on this on the first half, that, people move here and they're like, yay, I'm retired, woohoo. And then a guy is saying, or a gal is saying, 6 months of golfing was amazing. I'm still going to golf. I need to do something else. And a lot of people look to the nonprofits. So this is your opportunity to tell people, if they're interested, how they can help you.
Certainly. Thank you. So certainly, there's many different ways that you can come down and volunteer for a half a day. You can volunteer for an hour. You can stuff envelopes. You can donate financially.
Okay.
There are so many ways. One of the big things, we do try to educate people about using native plants and sticking with that in their community. They think they come to Florida and they want their palm trees and they want green grass, when in fact that's they're not native to Florida. Many of them. We only have one native palm tree.
Yeah.
And
the cabbage, is it the cabbage palm? Did I get
that's
that right?
not considered a palm tree, but yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's a wonderful opportunity to educate people about what they're moving into. And they think that they've come to paradise until you scrape a little bit and you realize we really do need to work together to save it. And the way to work together is to actually volunteer.
Okay.
We do monthly newsletters with lots of information. We have meetings 2 times a month, 2 community meetings, one in Sebastian at the North County Library, which is the second Monday of the month, and the fourth Monday of the month is at the Community Center in Vero Beach.
Okay.
And there's different topical issues that they bring up and talk about. And those are always open to the public. We encourage people to come, learn more about what we do, come down and volunteer, send us your donations, make some time, come down and learn more about it.
Yeah, and on your website, people can either be, sign up to be a volunteer, or they can sign up to be a member, or just to donate. So there's different ways on your website. And then with this Saving Paradise Gala, I'm looking at the sign over there, corporate sponsors too.
Yes, we're looking for corporate sponsors. We're looking for individuals that would like to be sponsors as well. A lot of times people really want to do a little bit more. We're looking for people that want to donate items for a silent auction, items for the live auction, anything to help raise funds to continue to do our work that we've done so well.
Okay.
And corporations are certainly welcome to call us, and we're certainly reaching out to them as well, especially the ones that have been here forever in River County.
Yeah, and there's so many of them that love to sponsor multiple things because there's so many good works going on in the community. So now we're in the second half, and what if somebody just tuned in? How are they going to find you? What's your website? And
okay, our website is www.pelicanislandaudubon.org, or it's 195 9th Street Southeast, or also called Oslo Road. Wonderful facility and an easy place to get to.
Yes, absolutely. And before, we do have a couple of minutes, but time runs very fast here because Cindy speeds up the clock. I don't know why she does that. Just stop that. So I want to say again, thank you so very much to Dr. Hadi Shalhoub, and he is the founder of Advanced Vascular Solutions. They are located on the east side of US 1, 13110 US 1, just south of the hospital, Sebastian River Medical Center. And they diagnose and treat a lot of different vascular ailments. And the list, it's quite long, so I've got to read this: wound care, leg pain, peripheral arterial disease, radiofrequency ablation, spider veins, ultrasound, venous seal, and abdominal aortic aneurysm repair. They're specialists, Dr. Shalhoub's team, they are experts. My husband is a patient, and we think very highly of Dr. Shalhoub and his entire team. The staff there in general, everyone that we've ever interacted with are just very compassionate people. And their phone number is 772-277-2964. And you can visit avsmedicalgroup.com. And we have 2 minutes. I can't believe it. So for the next 60 seconds, tell me about the board and the team, because you have people to brag about.
Yes, we do. We have some wonderful people. I wish I could mention all of them. I will just say Dr. Hadi Shalhoub is on our board because he does believe in our mission. And so that's wonderful to have him. And we have we have a part-time worker, office worker, and we have a full-time environmental educator that just came to us from Texas. And we have what we call a working board. They all have their specialties and do wonderful things. Many of them have their own businesses, and they still strongly support the organization and believe in what we're doing.
Yeah, it's very good because sometimes we get wrapped up during the day, during the week with indoor things. So it's nice to take a breather and do things outside, and that's what your board gets to do. So I wanted to say thank you so very much for coming here. I had a great time chatting with you. And I really appreciate the clarification of the wildlife refuge that everybody knows, Pelican Island, the Jungle Trail, beautiful place to take a drive or a stroll or a bike ride. But it's nice to know that you are different at Pelican Island Audubon Society and all the amazing work that you do. And I know that your gala is going to sell out and it's going to be wonderful. So thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. My name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. Until next week, I hope everyone has a safe, wonderful, productive week. Until next week, I miss you already.